nhớ rằng cho nên chỉ cái tin nên trả sự đầu vào tại trên nó nói mà nói im họ chưa sinh hành ở cuối cho nên sự đầu lần thôi phải một công ý là công tranh ở mà nó chỉ xí nhớ cho họ Fresno nó thế mà bây tụ khoa chưa sinh tại xí nhớ là cuối sáng mà nếu giờ tới giờ bây tụ mong từ thơ mayor nhớ cho bé Grove ta xí giờ vì lý chán nó nói cho các tổ bé lên trong nó cho các tổ lúc công tranh nó thế mà cú cho bé sự đầu muốn gì nếu cần theo mình chỉ cho bé đầu lúc họ phiền mà nó thế nhớ rằng mayor Steve Leeก็เขียก็ตึกเข่งมินจีเราไปเที่ยกูยิงเป้าอันเชิงต่อเขาเที่ยท่านเขาไปจำห้องยิงเป้าก็ตาเลยแล้วสิก็เขียมินจีเที่ยเขาเขียมินจีสารกงเชิงมันเราไปเที่ยวว่ารู้หอบเพียยาดัชเที่ย
OK，我做my姑贴我那个人用做有个地灵茶是的，我那没被省，多老都有，那是的是多那古讲嘛，那些我姑是啥来着？姑话还点，有那大家多做 Fresno 呢，嘛那么要一毛的出生正经做好的 campaign，要被路上 City will grow，为还点被看我日子有多套，一样多来年的有个地灵茶那没被省是的，还点都把到。cho là ba, chỉ ta lý là cũng có khu nation đó, thì nên nhớ gì là nếu mà chỉ sinh gì nhớ gì của El Grove, là chỉ xã thọ còn là tổ ba thiên, chỉ ta lý mà nó cũng khu, ta nó bây giờ không sinh đâu, hay thì nên chỉ nhớ đây, bây giờ Fresno là của xã cả đây, và xã ilu và inu là giờ i weekend, tuần đó cũng và cho nó đỡ một chế được cho quân chế, thì họ nói cho họ thì cũngต้องการจะชนะhọ cũng khá chấp lợi. Thì cũng rong xe thì cũng tôi chỉ nên là nó, đó là họ chỉnh chính tiêm mà cuối lên sự quật lại. Vì nên đó cũng chỉ muốn nêu bật là cô ra các lần thì cô cho nên mong vì thế ý thầu ý mà cô nhớ là nó nữa cô nhớ lo là nó cũng một cần tới bị sự đấy về sao thì cô chỉ muốn đại biểu là cô chỉ sau là nhớ hồ cô lúc sau và Fresno hay Clovis thì vì nên đó nên nó là thì cô chỉ muốn có từ là cô bớt đi ra các lần thì cô cho cô tin rằng chăm mong sẽ đời nhớ hồ Clovis hay Fresno.
giờ cái này tôi nói là nè cho quan nhớ ra về Sacramento thế Grove nè thọ này sẽ được một volunteer party họ cho nên cho mình tụi nhiều một experience một lúc lúc họ lựa nó thế là nu hả thì là lo sao một lúc rằng một lần nó là sẽ bao hả thì bị tao từ thế ở lại trả thế chỉ ta lên đó tôi muốn chỉ Mayor Steve Lee nếu mà là lựa chỉ bút là chơi là thế và có họ thả mình chơi thì họ election nó giờ bị thọ từ thế giờ lại trả thế khi mình chỉ được biết được bao nhiêu.
Ok, nước sạch mà giờ lúc gọi liên tục vấn đề trâu, tại sự họ ở bên lúc Sacramento County mà nếu giờ ý lúc county thì ý lúc đó bao lúc thì xong nó tan ra cho voter nữa, lỡ mua bộ absentee tan ra là, chỉ lúc có liên tục nó sự chế, nếu vấn đề gì sự chế sẽ được thì sau là cho ballot ta là, thì chỉ nếu đó là sự chế là những bằng ba tàu lấy là, những ngoài xa lên đại ballot một chỗ thì voter register chỉ những tàu lửa, thì họ nói chỉ nếu bảo tàu ít họ strategy cho bây giờ chủ bảo, bây giờ hit early, bây giờ tàu một chạy chân đầu theo và sao cho nó đó là một chỗ cho làm mấy sinh hoàn gió, cái là bảo gió thì hoặc là Steve giờ từ Steve Karachi nó nè, thì họ nói giờ ít họ thì nếu nhau và sát bên mình gì, vì thì và giá ta là nó chỉ bây nhưng nếu mà họ plan thì tại sao mà giờ absentee xứ thì mà đi cho poll voter nên nó thì everyone in Sacramento County giờ absentee tan đó nó nữa thì everyone nhớ hồ Sacramento County thì những tàu là họ ballot early thì vì nó thì giờ họ thì họ lùm bao to thì họ đó tại sao nó sẽ chỉ bây giờ ngay cho nó là một chế lý đó lúc nào cóตัวlà nó mà từ giờ mua nên họ lựa cóตัวlại thì có từ giờ thì mua cho và cái tiền trả là mấy sinh sẽ đượcตัว是说特别我这里线路是好多了喏，但是这里家了以后那是的，我那古毛些还点，比如说我那个北洋事情，共和国那是的还点，我塞路是好，多那个共，但也被 El Grove样的 Sacramento 家庭。
นี่จะตัวเป้าจงเลยแต่สิชัวเขาตัวเขาชิเป้าหลังจากจงให้เดียMayor Steve Lee ยิ่งย่อยอีตัว Mayor ละนะยังเขาในเรื่องจงแต่สิมันแต่สิน้ำมัวเลยเล่นละตัวยังหลังจากในชิดแจ้งตัวในเรื่องจงดัวมาจอดในยันในเรื่องจงมาเป็นชิสากันในเรื่องจงปลาหมูมาเจอยันในตัวย่อเด้ย่อเจเลยยังให้เดียในย่อเด้ในหมู่ปัชตอปอมบัดแล้วในเชิดเดอป้าดาจอลาลิจีแล้วมาจนเยี่ยเจียเบียเดียในโอลีในตัวหายตาเลยในเต้นต้นต่อยศาสตร์นะมายังเขาขี่ชับเลยgiờ chỉ mua nhẹ chia thì yêu nhân sa chỉ tao tên nó tao muốn cho cái là bao hạt tiền yêu lúc học phía giờ đã chỉ yêu nhân lên tiền thì ôi vì để chạy xe kia họ cho nhớ về nè hai chỉ mua ba đa rồi nữa có bông hoa chỉ hành gì là bé thế
chỉ mua là cho họ huấn nên là hạt tiền cuối lên sẽ có lại nữa thì cái tin trả sẽ nên họ có show hu là trên thiệt cũ thế nhớ hồi YouTube là mua cũ nhớ về Los City và Grove là mua cũ và giờ nên theo internet gì nên theo tôi cú ý lên sự của trở lại để theo lý tuần thiên nation đâu cú ngô hu cả nation đâu machine đâu cú theo họ nói chỉ là cú linh tu vì hai tia nhưng hai đứa bỏ nữa cú nhìn nên rồi hai tia nhiên lý là thể chỉ giàu là cú full time mà thì full time họ là cú chỉ mua theo giờ họ nói giờ họ thì cú là paไปสิ่งซื้อlà เพื่อจะไปสิ่งก็ตีนึงจะเสด็จตรงนั้นไม่กล้าเที่ยแต่ในไปหาหนึ่งมองอย่าวิลีน้อนะเจ้สาวอีหล่อท้องในเสด็จตัวป้าตัวนี้เจ้าอะไรยังโตตัวที่ตัวป้าลุนดาจ่ออะไรยังโตนะเจ้ว่าสาวท้องในเสด็จโชว์เสียตอนจีนนู่นน่ะ
chỉ nên chỉ cái tiếng cha tại vì chỉ nên tiếng sẽ nói lời nữa chỉ là tiếng nói cho lúc xuống hù thế hải này là chỉ nên sẽ đợi chủ xong thì tôi một ba thế sau có bé tụ mayor Steve nó cần chắc cái dân sống thi ó rau thi ó giờ cần chắc cái tao nữa lúc trong là rau gì thế mà thọ ở trong nên đâu.
Yeah, Ocho, thank you.
So, phần đó nếu thì có thể Steve có bài có thể có chỉ kéo cái tập này là video call thì rong xí nè you tập này là mà you chỉ nhau là chế để cái rong xí cái whole little campaign phần đó thì even while I was in the office as the mayor, a lot of the work that actually goes out of City Hall, I want to make sure I make some sense before the letters goes out, and, all of that. And she's my right-hand person that proofreads and does a lot of that. I was just joking with one of auntie and uncle. They had me do a letter of recommendation, and I said, geez, I'm going to need my wife. I don't know if she's available, so maybe it's better if you ask her. But that is the truth. And in American politics, I just don't have the time to go everywhere with my wife and look pretty. We just don't have the time to do that because there's a sense of urgency and importance for us to make sure that we get our stuff done. And while many of you are congratulating me, I'm already running for re-election. And so, my wife, she is an English teacher. I've been married to her for close to 25 years, and she is the backbone in the campaign. She is the one who's working day and night trying to make this happen. I cannot do this without her, and that is so extremely important. And I think it's an opportunity for the Hmong community to understand that and I think that we know that, but I think we need to be reminded that in order for us to be successful, we have to have a spouse that is very supportive. And for all the times that I go places without her, it's because she's working. That's why she can't come with me. But I appreciate her completely, and she's here for me tonight as a special treat. And I love to take pictures with you because I believe it's without her. It's just me and you. So don't leave immediately after the event. I would love to connect with many of you, and for some of you who are interested in finding kind of like the rest of the story, who Steve really is. She's the one who has all the secrets, and so I always joke about it that the day in which she's going to run against me, that's when I'm going to lose, because she knows all of my skeletons in my closet. So thank you, honey. Did you want to say a few words?
First off, I will never run for office. I think you doing it is enough. But before I leave the stage, I just wanted to say thank you to Yonya Jada, Papa Gao, Dr. Jugao Tia, or Auntie, my own, and the rest of your team. Thank you so much. And again, apologies that I cannot be down here. I should be down here helping you all. But as Steve mentioned, then I'm up there helping volunteers, making sure that they're walking, they're doing what they're supposed to do. So it's a very, busy time for us. So again, my apologies and my heartfelt thank you. And also everybody that's here today, thank you for your time and your contributions. As always, because we are Hmong and because you have supported us since we started on this political career, you are our backbone. Like I always tell Steve, we have enough. There are so many challenges. Sorry. We have enough to write 10 books by now. There are hardships and such wonderful things like now. All of you are so special, and we always come back to the Hmong community because, like I said, you are our backbone. And when we have nowhere else to turn, we know that we can always come back to you. So thank you, and these are not tears. It's not because of Lucia, it's because I'm just so moved that every time you always come through and you always help. So thank you so much. We will always remember, and you will definitely be in our books, I promise. Thank you.
Planning committee, but that Dr. Chikao tu cho nên là số sản thiên là chỉ của yêu chỉ cho nên là để so sánh với nhau. Đó là do môn này bé thì là tôi cũng tao lúc cũng sống lúc nó thì nó giờ ý họ thì của nó cũng so sánh thì cũng chỉ tao thì bé mong yêu sinh lúc thì and so in my remarks and in my talk, I'm going to mix English with Hmong for the sake of providing a roadmap as to what I'm talking about to our friends who don't necessarily speak Hmong, and for those who don't necessarily speak English. It isn't only Hmong. It's true, I don't know all Hmong, but I try to diversify it a little bit so that people can understand what we're talking about. So thank you, Dr. Gao Vang. Thank you, Trustee Vang. Thank you for your committee, your commitment, and your willingness to put forward your resources. Yeah, Dr. Gao Vang, Brandon, Trustee Brandon Vang, lúc còn sống mà cũng chọn cái hồi đó nên sẽ cũng tích cực tôi đã đi thả vì đâu phải là cái nhau nó hồi bộ to để cũng rong xe tới giàu xe hay thì nation of Ontario. I am very pleased that your commitment to this cause is such that you're going to deliver this particular event. This is no easy feat. I understand that and I appreciate that. And I know that you guys worked tirelessly so that we can have this particular event today. And thank you to all of you for your contribution. Each and every dollar makes a difference. I always say that it's not the amount that you give, but it's your willingness to give. Nên lúc xưa đó nè, và mỗi bằng sự hay thì yêu muốn là gì, của cô trong xưa trong xưa hay thì phần đời hay chắc cái cháu cũ, cũng do trong hay thì tu hay thì mỗi tàu Indo thêm của ý sen, tu hiện tại mỗi Indo thêm của ý sen, đời này yêu họ để của yêu mỗi khẩu kia, của Indo xưa, chẳng nuôi thì chúng cô. Vì hay thì her contributions of $1.18 has a significant place in my heart. Her commitment and her willingness to say that she's willing to give to support a young man who's willing to step up and run for public office has a lot more meaning than the 100,000, than the 25,000 that I've received from some of these PACs, that I've received from some of these contributors. Nếu mọi người chỉ nhớ bé hòa theo và bé rong xe theo sáu xe hạt tiền, rồi người ta lo người ta lo hai đứa bé để chỉ mua ít là nhẹ, đó chỉ nhớ một số tàu phải đồng chơi chơi người ta nhẹ, người ta nhẹ xem đó là contribute to our campaign. Còn nói với họ thì cố gắng sẽ tiếp tục sẽ trong đó. Còn nói với chắc cái suy lúc, nói với bên cái mong của suy lúc. This is something that only people who have gone through the war, who understand what it means to cross the Mekong River, to be refugees, to understand and appreciate that whenever we have somebody who's run for public office, we should be supporting. And I think that is a real key and tremendous, story that I'd love to share. And who hay liên lạc có nên cả share hay tiền từ mua bằng sự bắt đầu lấy giờ của những người đều cho thật họ từ để ban đầu đó là yên rong từ bắt đầu chơi là yên rong của giờ ba là sư để tu hay thấu tu ý là rong hay thấu tu là gì rong này Peru campaign của lo rủ tập ba rủ là gì nó giờ bây giờ cái yên tao nè. So thank you again very much for all of your contribution. I am tremendously grateful for all of you being here and all of your willingness to contribute to a candidate, several hundred miles from here. I think that we have our hearts in the right place. We have the right vision, in that we've been in this country for about 40 years. It's time for us to get engaged in the political system, and not only to get engaged, but to really make a difference. Getting involved and not just sitting back and watching is a key. And as I look into the audience, cũng chỉ là cũng cả share tiếp một số share tiền, để sự muốn rằng một dòng để sự công tế, để sự mà thế to và hậu lúa tổ chức nó và bùng gồm nó nè, thì quan share cho. Vấn đề của nhà hàng của châu lục nó, I think that chúng ta tí lo nên chú thứ hai châu lục rộng hơn còn là chỉ có cho. ก็到海个条路嘛，ก็到海这边条不老不止，还得全部做实验特别鸟了。我认真到的个条路上个风不农力，我认真到还得边条不老不止，得全部做实验鸟了，认真准备。晒杯稳定，有侧杯，搞杯是的，我到这里被写散。那是一度的正经读古，ที่สุด正经读古还得这里头古包呢，噜噜好噜，了爸爸就梦见古写他。Most people don't know this, but as a young man, I would always ask questions as to why we're here in the United States. What was it that motivated the Hmong people, the Lao people, the Khmu, the Mien to come here? All of us has one thing in common. We helped the United States in the war. Every one of us who are here from Laos, we had some kind of contributions to the war. We helped rescue American lives, we saved American lives, and that's something that we should be proud of. And the one person that I can think of, the one person that we will always remember is General Vang Pao. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. We will always carry on our shoulders. We will always remember that if not for him, we will not be. In my conviction to understanding the Secret War of Laos and appreciating that, as a young junior at Clovis High, I wanted to take on a project, particularly to focus on the Secret War of Laos. That's the time in which I got to know General Vang Pao very well. I was very fortunate to have an opportunity to sit down with Colonel Vang Yi to talk about his work with the general and the efforts in which many of the Hmong veterans put forward. Now, during this time, my father was still alive, and so my father shared a lot of things with me as to what it meant to be a soldier on the front line, what it meant to receive an order from Tanapun I want that dead American pilot in a body bag sent back to America. I think that's pretty profound. He doesn't care how many Khmu, how many Mien, how many Lao soldier, how many Hmong soldier died. When he gives an order, he wants that body recovered. And these are the stories that we have to tell the American people so that they will realize and appreciate that many of the Southeast Asians here, particularly the ones from Laos, we're not here because we want to be here. We're here because of a purpose. We did something in Laos. And I'm tired of hearing it being a secret war. We should be proud of it. We should be talking about it. And we should be mentioned every time, General Vang Pao. And every time we mention that, our value to here in the United States will increase just a little bit more. That's why it's so important. So during this time, in my research, what I was asking as a 16-year-old, I was asking why these veterans from the Secret War of Laos weren't receiving full veteran benefits. If they were being paid directly by the Central Intelligence Agency, if the money was bypassing the Royal Laotian government going directly to the secret army, led by General Vang Pao, that would then make this army an agent of the United States of America. If they were agents of the United States of America, they are employees of the United States government. If that was the case, then wouldn't they reap the benefits of veteran benefits as well? It was a serious question. I asked that question, I went to the Veterans Administration. You know what they said? We don't have time to talk to you, little boy. Get out of here. And so those are stepping stones for me, that every time my goodness, we don't have people in positions of power. That's why they tell little boy, go away, we don't want to hear your question. These are legitimate questions, and these questions came back to light when the general died. When we were just seeking for an opportunity to memorialize Tanapun Vatball in Arlington National Cemetery, and we got rejected, which then spun off and developed into something that's a little bit more so now with the signing of the recognition of the veterans, Hmong veterans, and the Laotian veterans, so that they can actually be buried in these national cemeteries. And I think that's tremendous, and it goes a lot to who have lobbied in Washington for doing that. But in my development of finding out the rest of the story as the reasons why all of us are here, I realize and I appreciate exactly the contributions of all of you, either you, your parents, your grandparents, or everyone who are here in the United States, who are products of the Secret War of Laos, who will continue to carry that legacy of war until we are no longer on this earth. My challenge to all of you is that we have to continue to tell this story. So that every generation we continue to tell the story, so that they would remember and they will be proud and they will stand tall when they hear the mention of General Vang Pao. This is so important for all of us. And for politics aside, for those of you who have objections to that, I say set it aside and think about the significant contribution of General Vang Pao to the Hmong history and how we will forever be known as General Vang Pao's Hmong people who came to the United States of America. When I visited China, we were known as that. They referred to me as Hmong of Chinese descent, but Gu Ya, the Hmong Minyo Hmong Adia, Nai Pun Va Bo Ya Hmong. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that in a communist country, who were at odds with our people, with General Vang Pao. But yet they acknowledge us and they recognize this Hmong boy who's connected to General Vang Pao. I think that's pretty profound. That makes me darn proud. Doesn't it make you proud? Absolutely, right? And when I think about that, I think about the chances of all of us, all of you, and me. What are the chances? That only 40 years ago, this Hmong refugee boy was up in the hills of Laos, right? Playing in the dirt, catching chickens, half naked in flip-flops. What are the chances of our story? Your parents serving somehow, your parents being involved somehow, so that each and every one of us are here today. What are the chances of us seeing doctors, lawyers, politicians, businessmen who are millionaires now? All because of a turn of fate. We did not expect to lose, right? If you watch the interviews of General Vang Pao, why would we pick siding with the United States? Because they were the right person to side with, the right nation. We sided with the United States because of democracy, because we believe in a concept of allowing people to vote, allowing people to have opportunities, and that's the reason why many of us, similar to me, when I was born, my father did not believe that we were planning on coming to the United States. Most of you don't know, but I don't have a Hmong name. I have a Lao name, as I shared with my Lao friends earlier. Gumbe Ya Sing Sava Steve Lee. So many people didn't realize that. They always ask me, what's your Hmong name? And I said, I don't have a Hmong name because we didn't plan on coming here. We're concerned about the discrimination in Laos. That's why my father gave me a Laotian name. Gave me a Laotian name so that on paper we would have those equal opportunities. But with the twist of fate, here we are in the United States. And so these are things that are so equally important. When I think about my opportunities here in the United States, I think about my father's service. Every step of the way that I embark on this political journey, I recognize the contributions of my father. My father was a raven. He flew on an O1 bird dog. Is to shoot a rocket. They call the 105s and the Phantom Jet to do the bombing runs. That's my father's job. His job is to communicate with the ground forces to see whether they're friendlies or foes, right? Many of you, you guys have stories like that. Many of your parents, many of you even, have served in the war and have done things that you don't want to talk about. But I think these are so equally important. Every time that we talk about politics, we talk about right? We're known as that because we're not going to take shit from anyone. If somebody's going to come and boss us around, no, you mess with the same corner, we will stand up to you. And that is the legacy of all of us. Many of the political scientists who are wondering why are these Southeast Asian, particularly the Hmong, so active in politics? Why are they so motivated? And I say simple. If you look at the history and the involvement of the Hmong in Sengkwa and the Laotian who came from Sengkwa, we are intertwined with politics. And that's why it's a natural for us to step up and get involved. Many of you have legacies of people, grandparents and fathers who have served politically. And that's something that adds to the rich history of the Hmong people. when I think about the contributions that I have provided, have given as public service to the city of Elk Grove, the community of Elk Grove, and also the Hmong people, I would be remiss if I didn't mention any of the Elk Grove stuff, because that's the reason why I'm here. Some of you have received the flyer, which summarizes some of the things that I've done. I'm pleased to say that since I've been in office, we've been able to have a rainy day reserve of Nangwa. We have $24 million reserved for a rainy day in our city savings account. We also have the privilege of seeing reduced crime rates in the city of Elk Grove. We've added police officers so that they can continue to protect the citizens of Elk Grove. We've been able to build a number of projects in Elk Grove. We have an aquatic center, $40 million. We have an animal shelter, about $15 million. We have a senior center, veterans hall. We've input a lot of these mitigating, traffic mitigating efforts in the city of Elk Grove. No more traffic congestion. So some of these things are very, very important in that it's applicable to the work that I do in Elk Grove. But I think that the reason why you are here is for two reasons, right? One, because I grew up in the Central Valley. I'm a Clovis High graduate, class of '91, went to UC, just got stuck in Sacramento and ended up in Elk Grove. Number two, I am Southeast Asian, and particularly I am Hmong. And so that being the case, I want to share with you some of the work that I've been doing, particularly in the Hmong community. And I think this is of significance. And part of the reasons why this is important is because one of the common denominators, the problem that we have across the world, is our fear of losing our cultural identity. Every country that we go, we pick up a few things. We take that and it goes with us. But more importantly, there is a crisis in our community across the world now. The Hmong nation is a nation of diaspora. We are broken into bits and parts all over the world, in little pockets everywhere. And how does a nation like the Hmong people continue to preserve our culture, preserve our language when we are spread all over the world? The crisis that I saw in China, China, is young teenagers that don't speak a word of Hmong. I go and I try to talk to them. They're dressed in traditional Hmong wear, but they can't speak a word of Hmong. I know that many of you, including my two boys who are at home, they have trouble speaking Hmong, right? Many of you have that same situations where your kids don't speak Hmong, and I think that is something that's very real. Now, seeing this problem, and so one of the things in which I sat down with Hmong people, Hmong leaders, is how do we actually move forward with this particular crisis? This is a real crisis that we all face. 100, 200 years from now, we may call ourselves Hmong, but we won't be able to communicate with one another. The tragedy is that I was in China and I met with people who claimed themselves to be Hmong, but I couldn't speak a word of Hmong with them. And so that's troubling for me. We have to have interpreters. I have to have an English to Mandarin interpreter and a Mandarin to, or English to Mandarin interpreter. And this is something that's very real, that is so important for the Hmong community. What we have done, what I have proposed and initiated, is a pathway for foreign exchange students with Winshan University. Winshan University, Yapatala University. So that is in the heart of Winshan, the Winshan Prefecture. So the Winshan Prefecture, and so the governor of Winshan is a Hmong woman, and so we sat down, we communicated about how we can actually bridge the gap. I'm proud to say we have our first Hmong student who is in the exchange program, which is in Winshan right now as we speak. On August the 24th, she got on a plane in Minneapolis from Oxford University in Yamazaki. She was welcomed with the Hmong community living in Winshan. She was brought to Winshan University and continues to study. Part of her job ilu hapia toni ya dia ne mu develop a paper that would study the diminishing Hmong culture in China and also in Southeast Asia. So to me, when I see that as an opportunity, it's not just going to China to go see China. It's not just going to these different pockets to just go see it. But I think it's the obligation of many of us who are in leadership positions to actually advocate for that so that we can continue to preserve some of these special things. Special things that I saw in China. And it's not to disrespect the work that particularly specifically they had their own chapter. I will forever remember them for their contribution. But I think what's important here is we also have to look at another chapter in ancient history, of Hmong ancient history. And when we look at the ancient history, tracking back about 5,000 years ago, and I'm not making this up, this is backed up by anthropologists, who have researched this at Kunming University, who can actually show you what they have found. Stories like when during the Qing Dynasty, and so for many of you Hmong women who say that you appreciate that's so wrong. Because if you look at the history, the one person who did so what did the Hmong women do? They stitched our writing onto their clothing, right? And this is documented. This is not me making it up. This is documented in Kunming University. These are professors that have actually discovered this and have paired up the stitches on Hmong clothing to alphabet that has been recorded and discovered in these archaeological sites. And so when you look at that and you realize that there's a whole chapter of the Hmong history that hasn't been opened yet, I saw the opportunity to make sure that we develop some of these exchange programs for to have an exchange. Hopefully, in the near future, we will be welcoming a delegation from Wenchang University to the state of California as well as Minnesota to foster these relationships, to create these pathways so that young people can actually study ancient Chinese history that are intertwined with Hmong history. So that's equally important. The other thing that we found that I've done work in contributing to the Hmong community is one of the things that we have to do in part of preserving the Hmong language and Hmong culture is really looking at other ethnic groups. They always have Saturday schools to teach the language and the culture. One of the things that we as the Hmong community have to do, we have to make a genuine effort in doing, is preserving the language. And how we do that is having Saturday language schools to teach our kids how to speak the language, to teach our kids Hmong culture. This is so critically important. If you look at the immigrants that have come to the United States, they've done the same. This is not reinventing the wheel. What I'm suggesting is that we just copy what other groups are doing, having Saturday schools so we can teach the language for our kids, so that they can learn the Hmong culture, so that they can preserve it. Otherwise, it'll be too little, too late. 100 years from now, we'll have kids who don't understand the word of Hmong. So if you look at some of these opportunities in the Hmong community, that's the reason why I do what I do. The pay is terrible, right? The pay is terrible in politics. They don't pay me enough. That's why I have to have a day job to make sure that I bring food to the table. Otherwise, my wife at 25 years will probably end. So, I joke about it, but it's so on point. It's glamorous and glitzy. It really isn't. It's just hard work. I do this not because I enjoy being yelled at by people. I make a decision. To the point where, honestly, I'm like, you know what? This is such hard work. People who have no idea. But there's a higher calling. I think that we Hmong community particularly are at a turning point where we have a milestone here. I think you bet you bet one or ba, I think có cỡ đâu cỡ tớ ở Hmong, I think there are bay, you might know the bay, you ching up many. That is something that is very real, that is so equally important for all of us. In November of this year, we will be receiving a delegation from China in Sacramento, and that will be from the government, the Wenshan Prefecture. If everything goes right, we will be receiving them with a cultural delegation from southern China to feature some of the cultural arts in the Hmong community in China. I hope that this will be a foundation for more further cultural exchange. And never mind the fact that Trump has an issue with China, that's his problem. I think what's important here is preservation of our culture and our language. Set politics aside, look for the Hmong culture. I think we will be preserved. It doesn't matter whether it's Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Burma, China, they still miss us. And when I go there and they know that I'm Hmong, they're very proud. They're proud that we still love each other, we support each other, regardless of how many Hmong New Years we have, regardless of how many times we fight for that $1 million from the Hmong New Year, which on the side note is pretty silly, because we just built a doghouse in Elk Grove that's Cochilan, right? And then we're stuck on $1 million for the Hmong New Year. Silly, if you ask me. But nonetheless, what's important here is that we have to find ways of preserving our culture. And this is an opportunity for us to look into the Hmong community here in the United States and also abroad and see how we can actually come together. So important for the preservation of all of us. Now, before I conclude, I want to give you a quick update on the campaign. You guys ever heard my wife talking about how difficult it is to campaign in a city of 172,000. 172,000 people in Elk Grove. So assuming that we divide that in half, and assuming that we have roughly about 88,000 or so, if my math is good, household. And so half of those are probably like maybe Blakyopa that are frequent voters. So 40,000 households. And it takes from development, like the piece that you saw, the piece that I had the students pass, it costs 55 cents from development to delivery. Multiply that by 40,000. That's how much it costs to send one piece out. We, in order for us to win, we have to send about 7 and more. There's a rule in advertisement. They see your name 7 times. That's when they can remember it. And like it or not, yes, a lot of people say, but you're the current mayor. Yeah, I am the current mayor, but you go and ask anybody in Elk Grove who the vice president of the United States is, they have no idea. Who's the mayor? Oh yeah, some guy named Lai or something like that. That's all they remember, right? And so, that being the case, that's the reason why raising money is so important for politics. California politics is different than Minnesota and Wisconsin politics. I've been up there, I studied their system, I've seen Hmong candidates run up there, and it's just very different. Many of you didn't even know that this year we had a Laotian run for lieutenant governor. You guys know that? You guys didn't know that, huh? We had a young man of Laotian descent who ran for lieutenant governor. But it costs too much money, right? I mean, how do you win lieutenant governor in this state that's one of the highest populous states in the United States of America? We have a lot of people who live here because California has great weather. When we're not drowning in water or burning, this is a great state to live in. And so that being the case, comparing California to Minnesota, Wisconsin, it's uncomparable. Wisconsin, you run for city council, you don't have to raise any money. For me, I ran for city council, I had to raise $120,000. To run for school board in Wisconsin, you'd have to raise no money. In Elk Grove, when I ran for school board, I raised $70,000. And so that being the case, so thank you again very much for all of that. Right now, what we need is we only have 37 more days. What we really need is additional funds to fund our mailers so that we can complete this. We have already reached, since the beginning of this month, we've been able to reach to about 25,000 voters already. And this is through knocking on doors and dropping literature. Actually, I take it back. It's actually it is 25,000. So we reached 25,000. That's our magic number to win. If we get 25,000, we'll win this. And so we've hit that already with a number of volunteers. We have the support of PACs, like the carpenters, like the plumbers and pipe fitters, like a union, Democratic clubs. I am a Democrat, so Nate y'all Republicans in here, please don't hold it against me. I am a Central Valley kid, so that means that I'm not super Democrat. I'm more closer to the middle, running the risk of offending any of my fellow Democrats. But I think that's important to acknowledge. That being the case, the battle is very real. The vice mayor, in which I supported to become vice mayor, decides that he likes subbing in for me so much that he wants to be mayor. I'm not going to discourage anyone to run against me. When somebody wants to run against me, I say, bring it on. Because this is not my seat. This is the people's seat. I'm only here for a short period of time. I'm only keeping this seat warm for the next person. And that's the reason why I always encourage everyone who goes into to politics, into public service, to make sure that you build a relationship with young people. You pave the way for those people who will come after you. So for anyone who currently serves, for anyone who want to serve, for anyone who have served, your obligation is to make sure you pay it forward. It doesn't matter whether the person is black, white, Hmong, Lao, Mien, Kamu. All that matters is you have a young person who's willing to step up and follow you in the footsteps. And it's your obligation to make sure you do that. And so the work that I do is I'm keeping this seat warm only for the next person, whoever it may be. I just don't want my vice mayor to get it. So that's why I'm running. And so that being the case, I leave you with a call out to all of you. If you can spare one day, one weekend to come up to Elk Grove, all I'm asking is that weekend too. We don't have many weekends left. Take your family, take your kids, come up, help me one weekend. That's all I'm asking. If you need a place to stay, you can come sleep at my place. My wife and I, we have a small home, but our hearts are big, and we're willing to welcome each and every one of you to come in. This is going to be the most competitive race in which I have been involved in. As Brandon said, in the last 8 years, I've been involved in four races that are all competitive. And in all, I've been involved in 5 races, 5 campaigns from the get-go. I think John and I, we were talking that our volunteers and the work that we've done, we probably have the most experienced team in the Hmong community in terms of campaigning. To the point where there's multiple levels now. One thing that people don't really realize is there's the mainstream campaign, there's the Hmong campaign, and then on those particular groups of people, they obviously have to be inclusive of Hmong leaders and of general public leaders. And in addition to that, there's multiple layers as well. There's another group of consultants that I work with on messaging. It's not being vetted by these 2 committees. It's being vetted completely by different people. Proofread, aside from my wife, who actually looks at all this. And so in addition to that, there's also the PACs. There's also other groups that will talk about it. And so if you can imagine, at the end, like a bookshelf, right? A bookshelf. And every shelf has something that's going on. And so if you see me tired, if you see me scattered, it's because I am tired. I'm looking forward to election day. I hope that all of you will find time in your busy schedule to come. And if you can't come, I'm not going to say no to an additional contribution. In politics, we have to not be shy about asking for money. That's the reason why I do this, is I want to benefit the community, but I'm not going to be shy saying that in order for me to launch the ship, I need contribution to pay for the stamps, to pay for the literature. If you can find it in your heart to give $1 additional, that's much appreciated. If you can find it in your heart to come and volunteer for 1 weekend, 1 day, 1 hour, I appreciate that as well. It isn't close, I realize that. But if you invest in 1 weekend, that's all I ask. 1 weekend will be one step closer to winning this. So we only have 37 more days. You know, I appreciate all of you and all of the work that you guys have done here in Fresno, my hometown. And I hope that the work that I do will continue. It isn't easy. It isn't fun at times. But I do it because I find meaning in that. 40 years ago, in the mountains of Laos, there was a little refugee boy. But because of a turn of fate into this great country. And all of you have the same story. It's an American story. America will continue to be that beacon of freedom. The Statue of Liberty will continue to receive the huddled masses of people that come from abroad. That's what America is all about. Damn the president that says that this is not that place. I'm a refugee and I'm goddamn proud of it. And for all of you, we should